Ranjani, what is the difference between a student-led MLV and a teacher-led MLV?
If it is a student-led MLV, the students come in and share a lot about how they have done what they have done. And sometimes when it is a teacher-led MLV, the teachers focus more on why is it that anything is happening, how does it happen. So the relevance is made clear for the parents also. They also go back with a sense of reassurance to say that my kid has understood and learned in such a manner, and this is the kind of outcome that we will see. So that is basically the idea of making learning visible.
So Ranjani, how long does a typical MLV last for?
Roughly about an hour, because most parents are working, and for them to take out time over a weekday and come to school for it is also a little tedious for them. So we try and keep it for about an hour so that it's convenient for them, and we also are able to share what we want to.
How do you decide what you want to share with the parents?
As a teacher, if it's a teacher-led MLV, as I said, we talk about why anything is being done at school, right? So we look at the various practices that we have brought to class, and we look at the theories behind it. We try and convey to the parents that there is research behind what we have done, and we want them to go back with a sense of reassurance. It's also quite need-based. The relevance needs to be made clear, then that is done. Or sometimes when it is that, it's a particular age group of students, and then we want to help the parents do understand it better, the adolescent age better. So then there's an MLV based on that. Key Stage 1, for that example, has taken up the playway method, because for them to understand that how do they do all of this and why do they do all of it. It's pertaining to the age. It's pertaining to what the sense of the school is like.
What do you do in preparation for the MLV?
It takes roughly about a week, because you will have to first of all get the sense, because you would have had that, but to decide that okay, this is something that I want to address first. So you first get the sense about what do you want to do in the MLV as such, and then it's more about the how and how much. So how would we like to share it, how do we hook the parents, or how do we take the conversation about it? Do we want to be more of experiential? Do we want it to be like a presentation? That gets decided first. And then how much of it to share, because we don't want to overburden the parents with a lot of theory or by saying that all of this has happened, but we want them to get a gist of it and understand that this is how my child is growing. We first work individually to get a sense of how much have we understood, and then we take it to a lot of different people. So as a team, we come together to decide that can this be shared, or how much of this should be shared. And then we also have one-on-one interactions with different people who might have little bit more clarity on how things are done. Also, I would suggest that do a dry run with people who are not familiar with the theory, because when you are taking it to the parents, they might not be too familiar, while you might think that you have clearly explained it to them. So it's always best to take it to someone who are not too aware of it, and are you able to explain it in a better manner? Are they clear when they go back? That helps you give a sense of the direction in which you are taking the MLV.
So Ranjani, how do you ensure that parents are engaged?
More than engagement, we are looking at parents taking back the awareness of what is being done in school and why, right? So yes, we do keep in mind that it shouldn't become too taxing or too overburdening. But when you make it contextual to them, when it is the students you're talking about, when you, for every theory that you're sharing, when you are connecting a student anecdote to it, they are interested in what you have to say, because it's their kid that's being talked about, and it's how their kids are learning that is being talked about. Another challenge that we face is that sometimes we as everyday practitioners, it becomes a little jargon heavy for us because we understand it. So our challenge is how do we simplify it for the parents, but at the same time not oversimplify it for them to discard it as, not too necessary. So we need to maintain that balance to ensure that the point is put across well, and at the same time its importance is also shown to the parents.
Do you involve students in the MLV?
Not necessarily, at least not this time, because the students do get a lot of other opportunities where they get to share with the parents what they have been doing. This time is mainly about the teacher sharing about what all theories and have influenced her pedagogy, right? So even the students, as they are part of the MLV, they get to see this teacher in a different light. It's about being a researcher and a learner rather than just a teacher, right? So they get to see the other side of the teacher also.